Let's go to Roe in Silver Spring, Maryland. Roe, you're first up on the Rush Limbaugh Show on Open Line Friday. Great to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Mark. The comment I wanted to make this afternoon is about the budget.
Right.
I'm not happy with a $33 billion budget cut. I would like to see more. But here's my point. No matter how small this is, if they don't do something about it, all they're going to do is win a budget battle. And they're going to lose the White House war. Here's my point. We cannot let that happen because you know darn well that the media will have a field day with this. They're going to come out and say, oh, those darn Republicans, they can't even pass a budget. We get to November, the elections, it's all going to be used against us. Our voices are never heard in the media, as we all well know. So let's take what we can get, move on and say, look, we're willing to work. See what we did? And then, come November, you've got fuel for your fire. I'm really, really concerned that if we don't do something, we will end up losing the White House war.
And by the White House war, you mean that Obama will be elected to a second term?
Yes, I do believe that.
You know,
I'm sad to say that, but my golly, I hear people out there. It's very concerning.
You have to. I would say if you're looking at the path ahead for the United States in the next couple of years, what worked in the last 2 years was that a Republican Party establishment that finds the Tea Party movement and all the rest vaguely distasteful and doesn't care for them personally at all, was nevertheless dragged along by them, and all the squishiest senators, the nice ladies in Maine, the reach across the aisle types, stayed on the reservation simply because there was so much anger out there among the electorate.
Right.
You make the point about the media. The Tea Party were demonized as racists.
Totally.
Bill Clinton compared them to terrorists. Bill Clinton compared the Tea Party movement to the Oklahoma City bomber. Bill Clinton compared them to terrorists. They were compared to racists. Joe Klein in Newsweek said they were treasonous. They were seditious. And yet, in the end, none of it made any difference because those people held together and forced the Republican Party establishment to stick with them. And I think there's a big lesson there. I mean, I think your scenario for 2012 that Obama gets elected to a second term, no one should count that out, in part because of the Republican Party's ability to just shoot itself in the foot and nominate the wrong guy. Last time around, we nominated the guy that the mainstream media wanted, Mr. Maverick, Mr. Reach Across the Aisle, John McCain. The minute the Republican Party nominated Mr. Maverick, Mr. Independent, Mr. Reach Across the Aisle, they decided he was yesterday's man and threw their weight behind Obama. The Republican Party nominated the wrong guy in 1996 because it was Bob Dole's turn. They nominated the wrong guy in 2008 because it was John McCain's turn. They're just as likely to nominate the wrong guy in 2012. What's important, I think, is to change the facts on the ground so that even if the Republicans do the usual thing and nominate the wrong guy, the broader conditions, as in 2010, the broader conditions out there in America have been so transformed that even the Republican Party's unerring instinct for blowing its left foot off can't actually disrupt the reality of what's out there at the moment. And so I think in that sense, Ro, it's important to keep this stuff in really hardcore basic terms. Even if you're forced to concede, even if you don't have the votes on this stuff, you've got to be talking about it in really basic primal language. I mean, this country is, as I said, it's the brokest country in history. It's astonishing that we've done that to ourselves, Ro.
Can't agree with you more. I'm just saying I'm very, very concerned that we will be demonized as we always are, even more so.
Yeah, but you're demonized for $33 billion of cuts. You'll be demonized for $3 billion of cuts. You'll be demonized for $1 billion of cuts.
But the demonization for the $33 billion will not last forever. The demonization of not passing a budget will. That's the difference.
So you think we're in 1995 territory here?
Close to it. I think we've got to be very, very careful. I have really good gut instincts. That's all I'm saying. And this one is really hitting me in the gut.
Okay, well, we'll put your gut instincts out there, Ro, and see what the rest of America makes of that. Does Ro have a point there that if we shut down the government, if Republicans stand firm and the government is shut down, that this will be hung around their neck and they will be blamed? There's a dishonesty. There's a level of dishonesty about the reporting of these stories. I always love the way that people say, Americans want the parties to work together to get things done. No! That's actually not what Americans want. The message from November was that you've done too much. Stop doing stuff. You did all this stuff. You passed Obamacare. Nobody knew what was in it. In the back of it are all kinds of little itsy-bitsy minor things nobody paid any attention to, like the extension of the 1099, the stupid 1099 form, by which the state presumes to regulate the right of one American citizen to contract services from another American citizen. The scope of the 1099 is just expanded massively, and small businesses and independent contractors are just supposed to suck up the costs of that. And not just that, by the way, but even landlords. Landlords who get a certain amount of rental income are going to fall under this the 1099 business. All this stuff sucks up time out of the productive economy. There was a story today that certain banks are now going to be charging $5 if you bank with the First National Bank of Dead Skunk, Nebraska, and you want to withdraw some money out of another bank's cash machine. The charge is going to be $5 now. And if you think, well, hang on a minute, doesn't that sound rather a lot for just like a basic service charge on taking $100 cash out of a machine in the wall? The reason the banks are doing that is because of new regulatory burdens imposed on them by the federal government. They're passing those costs on to you. That's what's going. Every time we have 2,000-page legislation, more and more of that gets passed down and imposed on us. And the idea that somehow out there is a vast mass of Americans panting for the parties to work together to do more. No, they've done too much. We need to throw this stuff out. There shouldn't be a 1099. Small businesses shouldn't even know the name of stupid government forms like that. It's embarrassing that in a republic of free citizens, there are millions of us marching around with all this meaningless government mumbo-jumbo numbers stuck in our head because we know that tax season, and that's another problem right there, by the way. Baseball should have a season. Tax shouldn't have a season. Tax should be a day. But tax season, so we all think, oh, have I got my 1099 for this? Have I got my W-9? Have I got my Z? Have I filled in my RU-12? We shouldn't know this. This is supposed to be a republic of free citizens. November was not about people saying, oh, I want the parties to work together to get things done. No, they want the parties to sit on opposite sides of the aisle and do less and undo a lot of what they've done in the last 2 years and the decades before that. That was the message of November, and Republicans should understand that.